Hey y'all. What up, though? Damn. You wild, captivated, damn. What it is that I am implicated. Literally it seems I'ma keep you elevated. But I'm solid gold, beyond my finish. Cause I know you with it. I'm cozy with these feelings. You try to conceal until they show you through this. And I know you know the vibes. Know you wanna give. Know you try to read. Just with signal for receiving beauty. But I'm sorry. Yes. So tell me, baby, why you always drop in after I get that bag. LOL, I'll be vibing in the night. Yes, I love it. I've been feeling good, like nobody could play me. I stay winning, rich in passion, so I'm rich in riches, definition. Don't care if they get it. What up, y'all? What's up? Healing shame. I had a good session earlier. I got a bag. I got a bag earlier. I love y'all. This is lit. This is lit. I enjoy my own company. You guys, I'm in a really good place. I am telling you guys, like, I'm in a really good place. I am so rooted. I am so rooted. I am in my bag. I am in my body. I mean, really, what more can you ask for? I'm surrendering to myself. I stopped fighting. I'm not fighting anymore. I'm not fighting. I'm one of those toxic people that gets turned on by fighting. Phew, no wonder I've been in so many toxic relationships. But I have been single for years because I decided I am not going to put myself through that again. So I just took my time to get my mind right. And I literally had to start a whole movement for sexual sovereignty and spiritual freedom just to get here. Between 10 years ago, you guys, 10 years ago was the start of my spiritual awakening, for real, because in December 2011, I had done a detox, 22-day detox, and that was my first detox, but I knew I had to do something because I was fucked up, because I had ended an abusive relationship with my ex-girlfriend, who was my first girlfriend, and the first person that I hustled with. I had just started sex work and I was doing my own thing, and then I joined up with her and we started working together, and she put me on game, but she also put me through a lot, and it wasn't even my choice to break up with her. She broke up with me, and it was so crazy because then I ended up dating her and her new girlfriend, and we had a relationship, the three of us, and we used to all three of us go out of town and work together. And I was like, you know what, I need to heal. Like, I was not doing well after me and her broke up. That was before the three of us got together, and I was like, every day I would like just like
feel so mentally fucked up because I was addicted to it. Like, I was addicted to the adrenaline rush. And, like, I was totally trauma bonded with her. Now that I look back on it and I know what I'm looking at, I can see these things. Like, we would literally be in, like, fight or flight or freeze or fawn together. Like, that was, like, those were, like, our 4 moods. Those were, like, our 4 moods. And we were in them together. And it was, like, the type of thing where, like, it was so toxic. Like, if it would be the type of thing where, like, a lot of lesbians know about this toxic dynamic where, like, you have to, like, eat the same amount of food because otherwise the other person thinks that, like, they're overeating or something. Tell me I'm not the only person that experienced this toxic shit, please. So, healing shame is relational. Shame is 1,000% relational because it's those that you are in relation to that teach you to be ashamed, but it's their shame that they're projecting onto you. And it starts with our earliest abusers, whoever was physically, sexually, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, or multiples of these abuse all at once. Like, whoever was doing that, they typically are the ones that project their shame onto their victims. Well, we don't use the word victim, but, you know, they're... What's another word? I don't even know. But the person that these people abuse, they project their shame onto that person, so we end up carrying that. And then, you know, that's a whole collective body of the sex worker shame imprints, which is, like, not separate at all from the shame imprint of those who experience childhood sexual abuse. And it's just very odd how within mainstream sex worker rights, so many people have so much of a pushback against talking about childhood sexual abuse as relates to sex workers, because it's like either it's some Christian or religious, you know, Captain Save-A-Ho organization that is trying to use that as like a political tool. But then on the flip side, there's like sex workers who are professionals who, like, don't want to be outed they either don't want to be outed as survivors of childhood sexual abuse, because, I mean, hello, like, it's when you come out against your family and you talk about childhood sexual abuse, you're guaranteed to get disowned. It's not likely, like, I mean, it's not likely that you'll be able to stay within your family after putting that dirty laundry out there like that. So, like, I just do that because I don't give a fuck. I just do that because I don't give a fuck. This is what I came here for. So my whole life story is all about this. Like, I am Jesus Christ in this bitch. I'm here as a sacrificial lamb. Oh my God. I love myself. I swear to God, I love myself. Like, you can only be the scapegoat if you are strong enough to be the goat. Otherwise, they would feel too guilty. And guilt is another aspect, too. We want to look at shame and guilt together. Because otherwise, they would feel too guilty. They couldn't scapegoat you and, like, just turn you to the wolves. A little lamb to get, you know, to get who knows what happened to you. Just throw you to the wolves. They couldn't do that in good conscience and without guilt if they didn't realize that you would be fine on your own and you would definitely be able to take care of yourself. So you never needed them. So what is with the allegiance? It's still programming from literally childhood, like from when we were babies. From when we were actual babies and we literally couldn't survive without the approval of those who are caregiving for us. So from babies to toddlers to children to teenagers, you know, that's why teenagers rebel, because they're like, hold up, wait, what the fuck? Because they start to develop their own consciousness in a more separation consciousness aspect, because babies and children still have a unity consciousness, a really deep unity consciousness, so they're going along with everything to try to make everybody else comfortable. But teenagers get a little bit older, and that's when they start hitting puberty and they start hitting sexual sovereignty. But babies, toddlers, and children are also sexual. Like, sexuality is a part of our human existence from the whole time. And you'll see this and you'll know this, that our sexual energy is our creative energy. And just like we're born from creative energy, we're born with creative energy. And we're born butt-ass naked. So, people can miss me with their judgments of my nude body. My body is art, and it's beautiful, and it's what inspires all of everything that humanity has literally ever done or ever wanted to do. My form is beautiful, and I will display it all the time, everywhere, and no one can stop me. And this is healing shame, because this is my body and it's beautiful and it needs to be seen. Why shouldn't I show it? The process that I've gone through these past 4 years of 5 years now of Sacred Stripper, Heaven on Earth, Hoes Are Healers, and even going back to Arab Goddess, Twitter dominatrix days back in the day, these personas that I have created and crafted, and just it was such a huge thing for me to collapse that binary between my fake life and my sex work life, which was like the majority of my life. But I would just show a teeny little 20% online, and that was strictly to appease my family so that I would not bring shame to my family, because even though on the other side, I was doing things that, like, I was an online Arab dominatrix, I was not able to grow really in that field because of my sexual shame, because I was too scared and too ashamed. And then I didn't want to get honor killings, which is, as to quote Suhair Hamad, it's not a threat, it's a promise. So, thank you guys for buying badges. That is so cool. I really appreciate you, and for your tips too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. All right. What's up, y'all? So, yes. So that was one of the things that I noticed right away with Heaven on Earth, and when we started doing our group therapy sessions. When I first made this page, I called it Sacred Strippers, because it was like I was Sacred Stripper, and this was the community page for Sacred Strippers. And so we had our group therapy sessions, and we would we would just chat. And me, Stripper Witchin', and all of our other baddies that would show up, and it's just been so great. So that was one of the huge benefits that I noticed right away from the group space, was that it was a healing of sexual shame, because we were together and we were like, yes, I just got done seeing a client, whatever, like, and it was cool. Like, everything was chill. And so through that process, I noticed that a lot of people were able to accept themselves more, and that helped them professionally, because it alleviated that shame, because shame will really block you from being able to be visible and being able to be seen. And you'll be scared because you don't want to show up, because you just literally don't feel safe in your skin. So this is work, this is a healing work that I've been working on since last summer, you guys, when I did the fear of being liked, healing the fear of being liked. So next I'm going to do healing the fear of being disliked. But right now we're doing healing sexual shame, and that's going to be on Patreon. So if you guys sign up for my Patreon on the $55 level, that includes all the group healings. And I'm going to be doing these group healings consistently for the new moons. So I'm about to write out my list of what they're all going to be for the rest of the year. And the Calliope Inner Muse healing, which is the one that I started with last year in this series, that's for January. So you can go back and get January. And it's March, but this is for Pisces season. I'm just going to do it Oh my god, we already had Capricorn and Aquarius season already? Holy shit. Yeah, I'm gonna do it by season, you guys, but just tune in because one thing is, now I'm not gonna be going live with you. I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna go live with you guys as much. I'm probably still gonna go live as much as possible, but I'm gonna be doing a lot of exclusive content in the app and on my Patreon. And specifically on the Patreon is the group energy healings. And the way that the group energy healings work is basically I start working on a topic. And I didn't even know what this topic was until it came to me, downloaded to me today when I was working on my client, because I was using him. I'm irritated. Ugh. What? God. Alright, I cannot wait to see what happens when we get through to the other side of this group healing. Because what happens is basically, I started off, so I've been working on this for a few days, let me see, since probably like over a week, like the past 8 days. Fuck. I work on this with my own life. I do this healing for myself. So every single day I've been cleaning. Like I've been cleaning the energy. Which culminated today in like deep cleaning my room. But I'm still not done. I'm still organizing it. And the room is the symbolic of the head, the mind, the brain. And your closets and your drawers and little organizing spaces is symbolic of your third eye. So typically people that do this type of work, we have to declutter. We have to declutter a lot, and we have to make sure to keep those spaces clear and take note of when they're not clear. That means that there's a lot of stuff in there that's like, it's basically like the chaff rise to the surface or whatever it's called. Like it's like the foam rises to the surface, you scoop it off, you know. So it gets extra pronounced when we're clearing, because a lot of this stuff is very densely compacted in our third eye and in our chakras. In our energy bodies, which translates to a 3D physical feeling of heaviness. All right, so the energy healing gives us a lightness. It grounds us. It basically clears more space out in your legs and your lower body extremities and in your sacral. Because what a lot of us are like, we're like basically clenched up tight. Like we're like, and our soul is like outside of our body, like up here. It might still be in the upper chakras, but it's definitely not in the lower chakras. That's for most people, okay, you guys? And especially sex workers and survivors, people that have sexual trauma. And when they're, and like I put up in my post last week, if you have, you know, migraines, pelvic pain, chronic pelvic pain, urinary incontinence, you are probably, you know, a good candidate for some sexual healings from sexual trauma, either from your lifetime or previous lifetimes or ancestral memory. So if you have any of those symptoms, that's something to look into. And I provide these group healings at really affordable. I mean, I lowered, like I used to charge $111 for these group healings, but I lowered. I do not know what's going on, but I'm going to charge it just in case the battery is low. Can you guys see me and hear me? Alright. But I actually, like, you know, I reopened my Patreon. I haven't updated it in a while. But I reopened it because I'm like, you know, changing my offerings and having more like high-end offerings. I just really wanted to keep something very affordable for the community, and that's really important to me because the way that I do these monthly group healings is I do the reading for everybody. Like I give everybody the reading, whether you pay for the healing or not. But then the people that get the healing, they get a extended reading and they get the actual healing, which is energy healing. Because, you know, I don't want you guys to be out here like getting addicted to YouTube readings and things, because it's great to know what's going on, but guess what? You're not doing anything about it by getting a reading. You just know what's going on. Now you have to take the next step of cleaning the energy. So if you want to know how to do that yourself, take the Heaven on Earth Reiki initiation course. And if you want me to scrub, and it works great in the group healing because we're all healing it together. So we have similar things that we're tackling. Typically the people that sign up for the group healing all have very, very similar issues, and you guys will understand if you go in the app and you post in there and you chat with people, and you read people's posts, you'll see that a lot of people are dealing with a lot of the same things. And that's why, like, literally, like, a lot of times when you guys come to me and you're talking about different stuff that you're going through, I'm like, literally, I can think of at least one or two, if not more, people that are going through the exact same thing right now, because I have a bird's eye view, because I talk to all of you guys. Not all of you guys, I can't talk to everybody, but I have more of a bird's eye view because so many people come to me and tell me what's going on with them. So I'm like, literally, like, if you talk about that, it's gonna be people that feel it. And I think I've always been in a tradition of confessional, like, women's literature, because it's like that type of thing where it's like, you know, people don't really, we're always so silenced, and people just, I don't know, it's just like, as a woman, and a feminine person, and I'm an amorphous being and genderless alien. You know, it's like I've always carved out space for myself to create and to be heard. And since I was making zines from 12 years old, you know, I always, like, needed to publish myself, and have my blogs before they were blogs, when it was like message boards on the internet and AOL member profiles. Just followed you today because I have found my root chakra being very fucked up, and my friend recommended you to me. Also, fellow sex worker. Awesome, welcome. Yes, I'm so glad you're here, because and that's, like I was saying, with the way that spiritual workers need to continuously cleanse the third eye, sex workers need to continuously cleanse the root chakra. And sex workers have the ability to have a much more stronger and grounded root chakra than the average population, because there is so much in there to work with. Not just sex workers, but anybody that's, like, you know, really experienced with sex / survivor. And yeah, because I was just thinking today how, like, man, like, I am so gifted sexually. Like, I'm so gifted sexually, and I always have been. My whole life I've been interested in sex. And it's so taboo, and I have so much shame around it, because I'm Muslim, like, coming from a Muslim family where literally if you get raped, you could get murdered by your own family. And I would hope to think that my family wouldn't do something like that, but I don't know, because I have, like, dozens on hundreds of cousins that I don't even know. So, I mean, you know, these are things that make me fear for my life, but at the same time, they're supposed to make me fear for my life, because it's a global system of slavery, domination, and control. And it's anchored in place. And that's why, like, I was like, don't come for me when I said, I, like, made a comment about, like, oh, like, I made some comments about, like, the real war that y'all need to be worried about is the war on masculine and feminine energies. And someone commented, and I was like, don't try to come for me, because, but they weren't trying to come for me. But I was like, preemptively, do not try to come for me, because, like, I'm like, Arab people have been telling you guys that there's wars going on, and you haven't cared until now. All of a sudden, it's this fake ass war. I'm not saying that the war is fake; it's real, but it's you already know. So it's just bothersome. These are things that are, we'll get more into this conversation on Patreon in the private live, because, you know, there's certain things that just require a certain level of privacy and sacred space for us to talk about. But we're going to go as deep as we can with this message here, and then I'm going to switch over to Patreon. So when I switch over, you guys, like, you know, get ready, go ahead and subscribe, and you can subscribe at the $55 level. Even if you subscribe at the $1 level, you'll still get access to tons of exclusive content. I have so many talks like this where we dive into all different deep topics. Let me go on there and just read you a few of the topics that we have, because there's, like, healing the generational trauma from the children who didn't survive childhood. that was a really good one, and that was really deep. And I tell you guys, like, I provide stories from my own life to show you guys, like, and to demonstrate how these healings work so that you really understand how this works. And then I also provide the class so that you can do it for yourself, because you need to know how to do these things for yourself, because you can't wait or rely on a teacher. And there's so much anxiety also that comes with working with a teacher. What I've noticed, so many people when they're new on their path and they work with a teacher, it's very easy to get paranoid about the teacher. A lot of people get stressed out. You know, energy is flying everywhere. And then if you've established a psychic bond with your teacher, which is why I do the Reiki class the way that I do now, because I think it's important to maintain that sovereignty and those boundaries. And I don't need to establish a psychic bond with each of my students. I think that that's a little bit overstepping, and it's why I say that Reiki is that Reiki and the spiritual program are actually really detrimental to people, and it's by design. And again, we'll get more into that too on Patreon. But it's that's why I don't use the typical Reiki symbols. They're very invasive, I feel, and I don't feel good about using them. I think that there are certain boundaries you should have with spiritual work and spiritual practice. And I noticed that a lot of students and a lot of new clients and people that are new to spirituality, it's like the energy is what's happening is that as your vibration is lifting, your demons get irritated and stuff like that. And somebody who's already been doing that work and working with a lot of people, they've already healed and cleared a lot of stuff. Because when you're working with different people, you come into contact with a lot of different energies. And so through that working with them, you're able to clear them. So that's why, like, earlier I was working on my client and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, because I'm going to heal sexual shame from me and I'm going to heal it from him too at the same time. And I'm going to use that alchemy to do it for the collective too. And so when you guys join the group healing, you're entered into that reservoir of healing energy, which is being contributed to and drawn upon by multiple people using it for the same thing. So as the energy flows, it clears these curses on a larger level. Do you see what I'm saying? Ask me questions if you want to know more. But it clears it on a deeper level, because these are not these generational curses. Root chakra is where the generational curses are. Although the generational curses can affect all the chakras. Like a vow of silence can affect the throat chakra. A vow of celibacy can affect the sacral chakra. But ultimately, like, family and bloodline and ancestral memory and past life memory and early childhood memory, these are found in the root chakra. So when we work on these issues, generational curses, they're not just isolated occurrences, they're widespread. They're usually community-wide, if not worldwide. So we want to look at those things, and then that's why when we work on them together as a group, we can heal them much more powerfully. And I'm telling you guys, like, the intensity of the group healings, like, anybody that's participated in my group healings knows and understands the intensity of these healings and the revolutionary aspect of them, which I'm also going to speak more about in the extended version. I use onyx yoni egg. I love black onyx yoni eggs. Oh God, I love it. So much sexual trauma I'm trying to heal from now that I'm older. Florida Pisces, about to turn 21 on the 15th. Happy B-Day! Happy B-Day, Pisces boo. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are here. So, it's okay. Someone said so sad. I'm not sure what that's regarding, but it's okay. We don't have to be sad. We can use these experiences very powerfully. If you guys seen the stuff that I posted recently, I posted about getting drugged and abducted off Bourbon Street 10 years ago, which wasn't even the worst thing that happened to me that month. And that year, like, a lot of way worse stuff happened to me, okay? So, and I posted my testimony that which also happened around that same time. But what happened before that was I did my 22-day detox, and I started to pray and heal. And I like watched what I ate, and I cleansed my body. I went for walks. I meditated a lot, and a lot of stuff started coming up. And I believe that that's why all that stuff started happening, because I was purging these deep, dark trauma wounds that I didn't even know about. And it took me years to like go down the rabbit hole. And so I'm finally at the point now where I accept, and that's 10 years later. And they say that it takes 10 years to become a master of your craft. So, bitch, I'm in my bag. I've been doing this for 10 years. And if you guys knew all the different incarnations that my business has gone through to get to this phase, because I've always had like a business baby for this whole, like, for almost this whole time, starting in 2014. That's when I started to do my 40 days and 40 nights spiritual detox challenge. And you can get that guide, that detox guide, free in the app. If you join the app, or if you're already in the app, just search for it. It's the 40 days and 40 nights spiritual detox challenge. And I did a YouTube series. So that's one of the ways that I got really comfortable showing up, was I did 40 days of every day I filmed a YouTube video and I showed up. And if you guys, so we're gonna do another round of the 40 days and 40 nights spiritual detox challenge coming up in April. So stay tuned for that. And you can see some of my videos from that series if you go search in the app, in the 40 days and 40 nights section of the app. But you see like how different, like I was masking so much more. I still mask. I'm still learning how to like completely unmask and get straight to my core essence, you know, and not be a fake ass person, but like really like what is my core energy. I'm continuously cleansing. And it was so crazy to the first summer that I started doing Reiki in 2016, because 2014 was when I did the detox, and I did 40 days and 40 nights of daily yoga, daily intention settings, where every day I would like wake up and recite my intentions, and I would recite them before I went to bed, and I just focused on them, and I was manifesting like crazy. Like everything that I wanted, I was manifesting. Literally with like no money, like just, you know, down and out. But nobody knew. Like, I was not honest about it. I put on a happy face, and I just taught people about holistic healing. And that was my coping mechanism. That was how I got through it, you know, and it really helped. It helped me to focus on the positive. But underneath that was so many shadows. And when I got to the end of the 40 days, I was, like, really just overwhelmed with my shadows. Like, and I was like, and I had been completely operating in delusion, because there was so many things that I had to be delusional about, because it was literally the only way that I could like maintain. So there's so many people out there doing the same thing right now, like operating in delusion completely, because it's literally the only safe place to be in. And for a lot of us, we grew up with like a overactive imagination as children, and escaping into books and, you know, stories, or, you know, fantasy scenarios with our friends, you know, and things like that. So over time in the rat race, we lose ourselves because there's not enough space to create, but we have to create that for ourselves. And that's one of the reasons why so many people choose sex work, because it's a flexible income where you can utilize your creative energy and make more money than the average job for less time. So your time is precious, and then you get to use more of it, you know. And my session today, you know, like I sold, let's see, today I sold the sensual massage, which is just a simple sensual massage, no big deal. Sensual Reiki massage. And like I said, I noticed that I could use that session as an opportunity to heal sexual shame. for myself and for him. So I did, and it was amazing. It was great. It was so great. And then afterwards, I took myself down to the French Quarter because it's Mardi Gras. And I just rode my bike around dressed like a fairy. It was awesome. And then I enjoyed dinner. I treated myself to lamb chops, and I just had a glass of red wine and sat there listening to music, watching people walk around, and it was a fun time. It was a really fun time. And then I went home, and now I'm here. And I get to do this. I'm going live with you guys, and then I'm about to do this group healing. And it's like, it's this easy. It's really this easy. And there is a ministry for everybody that wants to do this. Because I remember back in the day where I seen somebody that was an energy healer online, and I was like, I really want to do what you do. And she acted so weird to me. Like, I was like, okay. But I was like, I really want to do what she's doing. So, like, I pursued it, and I made a class. So, you guys, if you want to do what I do, you can take my class. It tells everything of how I do everything. And, okay, I'm working on another class that's going to teach even more. But right now I already have like 3 levels of the Heaven on Earth Reiki class open. And that's the Heaven on Earth Reiki 1 and 2 initiation, which is a self-initiation. You download it, you download the course, everything is in the course, and you have your own initiation that you initiate yourself. So it's your sovereign energy. You're calling upon cosmic energy to channel through you. You're calling upon your ancestors to discern your specific healing gifts. Okay, that's better. Try to turn up the light so you guys can see me. But so you're working with your ancestors and their healing gifts, and that includes ancient ancestors, aliens, deities. It's very personal to the individual, and that's what makes it so cool. So, you first you do Heaven on Earth Reiki 1 and 2, and you download the course, and then you're eligible to do your Reiki Mother training, and that establishes you as able to certify others in Heaven on Earth Reiki, and it supports you in channeling your own symbols. Because a lot of people, it's so cool how like that's one of the purposes of the Heaven on Earth Reiki Mother training, is to support you in downloading your own system and your own symbols. And it's so cool that a lot of people, before they even know that, start downloading the symbols. And some people, before they even come to me, they start downloading the symbols, but they don't know what they are. And then they come to me and they realize these are their Reiki symbols. So it's so special because energy healing is found all over the world, in all of our cultures. It's not just Japanese, and the establishment of Reiki and energy healing as Japanese exclusively is also part of the Matrix. So that's another thing that we're going to be diving deeper into on Patreon. I am in love. So blessed to come across your page. Welcome. Amen. Ouch. Yeah, wow. Always trying to stay on top of that one. Creative minds getting bored. And then another thing too is congrats on 10 years. Thank you. Thank you. And then another thing too is that a lot of sex workers and recreational hoes as well, housewives too, like anybody that's using their sexual energy, but especially this is a huge problem with sex workers, because sex workers are so talented. Like, so many sex workers are just so extremely talented and gifted, eloquent, and just, oh my god, like, the talent is unreal. And so many sex workers use all their creative energy at work. So then there's nothing left over for their artistic, creative pursuits, writing, music, art, fashion, all those things. And that's one thing that's so important. It's like so important to, if nothing else, like, invest in your fashion, and let yourself express yourself and be yourself and embody yourself through the clothes that you put on. Take your time, even with like the soap that you use and like the beauty products, like take your time washing yourself, touching every part of your body scrub, facials, hair conditioner, like oils for your skin. aromatherapy oils, candles, like all these things are very important. They're very, very important to your goddess energy and to healing shame. I have to sleep. Okay. Love you so much. Good night. I'll get the rest of my dreams. Okay. Definitely join Patreon for the extended healing sexual shame. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, that's what we're about to wrap this section up, and I'm gonna hop over to Patreon to give the extended energy healing and reading for healing sexual shame. All right, you guys, I'll see you there. Peace, healers, gods and goddesses. Masalama.